So first thing we're going to do is get our templates. I made these templates out of some thin cardboard. And we're going to mark off our paper. Pretty simple. Just use your liner. When it's light line, paper on it, and try to get it real nice. Okay, first panel. And second panel. And that's not really big. Why not? Try that out. It'll be fun. Okay, so there's the shapes. Quick and easy. We're doing JavaCat. Okay, so we just finished doing our storyboards. So it's the coffee shortage, and we're going with the bottom one here first. So first thing we draw is the back of JavaCat's head. So if you know how this works, we draw a rough and then sketch it out and shape it. And then when I go with the pencils and the markers, I can get more definition as time goes, as the picture develops. But you want to get to positioning first. So I got the positioning. And it's not right, so we're going to have to move that head downward. So I'm going to put the head down here so we can see the sign. And we can leave this blank, we can letter it. We can letter it using the Blambot fonts. Because my penmanship is not the best. Alright, there we go. And it's going to basically say out of coffee. Just like that. Okay. Now the next picture is the front of his face pressed up against the glass. So his face is going to be here. And the back of the sign will be here. So we're just going to mirror this one over here. Okay, now it's really hard to get it to look like somebody's face is pressed up against a glass in a drawing. So we're going to make his nose a little exaggerated. Big cheeks. There we go. And we're going to make his eyes a little squinted here. So it's going to look like he's trying to figure out what's going on. Now this time his ears are behind the sign, so we got the sign coming here and the ears coming there. Alright, whiskers. the whiskers are short and frayed because he's had too much caffeine and he's frizzled them off. He's worn them off from too much craziness. Okay, there's that and that. Which this would actually look better with his hands on the glass. So let's put his hands there. There's one there, and there's one there. So if you ever want to know how to draw fingers, what you do is pick your style. So for instance, this is a cartoon. So what I can do is go to other cartoons and see how they draw their fingers, and that is the easiest way to do it because fingers are not easy to draw, as well as hands. So what you can do is actually look at any of the Disney cartoons. If you're going for more cartoony style, then you want to do like Mickey Mouse or Donald Duck or people like that. You can check out Bugs Bunny's hands. They're kind of the same, so it doesn't really matter. Draw his cheeks hanging out here. But that's the easiest way to do it, is to just go look one of those up. You don't want to get too detailed with the lines on the hands and stuff like that because it'll make it start looking realistic, and you want it to stay cartoony. So 3 fingers, good enough. Okay, there we go. There's that. Yeah, that's good enough. Alright, and then we'll have some text when we edit it, so let's say words and stuff. And the last one is going to be outside on the sidewalk. So here's the sidewalk, and here's the door. And there's the sign. Okay, and you can sketch this in with a pencil. He's going to be right on top of this, so it's going to cover up most of it. Okay, so what you want is his position. So we've got legs here and here. Feet. Hips. Body is hunched over, head is here. Hands on the face. And then the arms come down like that. Okay, there's the belly and the tail. The tail's going to be hanging down on the ground. Okay, so for the feet. End of the world. Out of coffee. Oh no. Hands. Well, let's see, how could the hands be? The face is going to be here. Glass here. Windows doubled there. Okay. Here's his neck, but first we're going to do his face. So, eyeballs, big. This is perspective, so we're going to make this one bigger than this one. Okay, he's very distraught. His ears. You know what? I kind of like the idea of sad ears. Let's make sad ears. So sad ears. Lean forward like that. Nose, cheeks. Let's see, the other hand's going to go right here. And belly goes like this. Alright, that's good. The neck is not in the right place. Or the back. So we're going to erase that, and we're going to put the neck comes from here down to there, and it sticks out somewhere around here. There's whiskers. Okay, there we go. Shoulder and back. Yeah, that looks pretty good. All right, now we can ink it. Oh, his tail is like this because it's broken. Too much coffee. You tend to break things. Okay, there's that. Looks good. Now we're going to ink it. That's just a regular mechanical pencil with the number 2 lead in it. The pens that I'm using are STABILO Pen number 68, and these are a felt tip pen, which is really good for line work, I found out. I've also got 2 brush pens. That's a brush pen. Tombow ABT N15, bigger brush pen. These you want to use for specialty stuff, so figure that out if we need that. For the border, I'm using Sharpie, which is not that. So just your regular run-of-the-line Sharpie. Use a ruler to get the straight lines. You want it relatively big, the border on there. And you can do different things with borders to make them look better. We'll get more into that later. In fact, one of the coolest things about drawing a comic is exaggeration. It's funny when you're doing it and you think, okay, I'm just going to exaggerate this line here or this line here, when you see the finished product, it doesn't look very exaggerated, which is interesting because you can actually see yourself trying to exaggerate it and it not going anywhere. So one time I was drawing this comic book, and the exaggeration was ridiculously huge, and when the comic book got printed, I didn't see any exaggeration at all in it. It was it ended up being just perspective. Even with like the craziest exaggeration I could think of, it just ended up looking like perspective when everything was said and done. So something to be aware of. Actually, something to try out. Try that out and see how it works for you with your exaggerations. Chuck Jones, the guy who drew Bugs Bunny, was really good at exaggerating. He was kind of a big deal because nobody had done it before. All right, there's that. Next, we're going to draw the picture. We're going to ink it. So everything on JavaCat is very sharp angles. And that reflects his personality and the jitters. Okay, there's that. Draw the sign. Now, speaking of exaggerations, we could actually do a little bit of that here with the outline to make it stand out. And I'll show you what I mean. So if you want to grab a bigger marker, you can do a border on your character. And it'll look ridiculous at first, but when you get it, it won't make a difference when you see it shrunk down. So you only do the outside, and it makes your character sort of pop off the page. There we go. You see how big that outline is on the face there. Okay, next panel. The sign is in front, so we're drawing that first. There we go. Yeah. Okay, see, make sure we got everything. Looks like it. Alright, last picture is going to be you know what, let's ink this one here and do the outline. Just do a little touch up, make sure everything looks alright. Yeah, it looks alright. Okay, doing the outline. And remember, it's just the outline. Doing this, you can actually make some pretty good mistakes and go through things that aren't meant to be dark. There. Okay. That makes them stand out a bit. Okay, last one. Go. Let's see, start with the face. I always start with the nose. For some reason it's easier. Okay, so do the big eye first. Okay, there's that. Oh, almost forgot the arm here. Let's see, what does that look like? Thumbs go on the outside. Okay. Belly button. And the, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do the technical pen for the eyes here because it's too small. The other pen is just way too thick for that kind of work. There, he's crying. Got whiskers. Can't forget his whiskers. Okay, good. Any other details I don't see? Good with that. Okay, now sidewalk, door, I like the door handle there, so that is definitely not how it goes. That's a big foobar. Door handle, key lock, and sign. Good enough. And there's the window. Okay, that'll be enough. The rest of it we can do in the photo editor. Okay, now for the cleanup, I'm going to clean up all the pencil marks so they don't show up in the scan. In the old days, they used to actually use blue pens, what they call copy-safe blue pencils. If anybody's ever used those here, if anybody who watches this has ever used one of those, you are old. You are very old. They do not do that anymore. It's all computer. Oh, and this eraser, this is called a kneaded eraser because you can knead it, and it pulls out the lead, or graphite, I guess in this case. It used to be lead back in the day, but then the kids started eating their pencils and getting brain damage, so they changed it to graphite. Alright, there we go. Next thing we're going to do is load it up into the computer and scan it and color it. We'll see if we can figure that out here. See if we can edit out some mistakes. The paper that I'm using is not the best paper, so you can see it's starting to soak in with the thick marker there and make a fuzzy line around everything. A little bit of soaking in there. This is just regular drawing paper, which is not the best for felt tip pens. What's really good for that is called vellum. Vellum works for it, or there is very specific comic book paper made for doing comic books. You can look that up too. Alright, I'll see you in the next video.